Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever end of season awards for the How I Failed in Business podcasts. May I please introduce to the stage your hosts for the afternoon, evening or morning, Sophia Grace and Rob Spence. That was amazing. That was really good. Hey, Sophia.
Great. Hello, Rob. How are you?
I'm weirdly nervous, actually. How are you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm good. I've just ingested a little bit of smoke, but we're rolling with it.
And we're going to continue ingesting that smoke all evening. You look beautiful. Lovely dress outfit.
You look very sharp.
Thank you. I try. And welcome to you, the listener, the viewer, for this, the How I Failed in Business podcast awards.
Yes, it's been such a wild ride, and we couldn't think of anything better to end this season out on than celebrating it all with a nice little awards evening.
Absolutely. And these awards go out to all of the guests, really, that we've had on the podcast. We've had, how many was it in the end? 37?
36 guests.
Oh, 36. Wow. Is that including the banned ones, or is that...
That's only aired episodes.
Okay,
so we're
right,
a little bit
fair
over.
enough. So we've had a lot of people on the podcast, some great stories, some great moments, some great things that we'd love to share. And really, I'd love to give an award out to everyone. But
absolutely.
Budgets are very tight.
Yeah, it's been a tough year. So instead, we have 8 categories that we'll be celebrating this evening.
We do. So shall we run through what those categories are? Shall we just leave that? Yeah, you start. What's award number 1?
So we are going to have our most controversial episode. We've got our best comeback story. We've got some awards that are around the most listens and the most plays that episodes have gotten. And then we're going to sort of round it all out by celebrating my favourite episode, Rob's favourite episode, and your guys' favourite episode with the listener's choice.
Absolutely. So we've got 8 awards to give out with 3 nominations for each award. And as you eagle-eye viewers over on YouTube will have seen, and of course, if you're only listening to this audio, please do head over and take a look. We've actually got awards for people.
Yes, they are actual, real physical awards. If you aren't watching on YouTube, check us out on socials because we'll be posting a bunch of content out on there.
We will. And these awards, no expense was spared.
They are really, really funky. I do like them a lot. And I kind of wish I had one for my mantle.
I was going to say, we should have probably kept some behind.
Yeah.
As always, as our podcast, we've got Molly behind the scenes, literally taking behind the scenes footage as we speak. We've not mic'd her up today, so you won't hear from her, but she is there. Well, look, this is the end of season 1, and we'll maybe talk about that at the end of the show anyway. But shall we crack on with the awards?
Shall we?
Let's do it. And let's kick off with the award for the most popular on YouTube. So what does this award mean then, Sophia?
So we went through all of the hours of footage that we've posted, including all of our short form content, our long form videos, and we wanted to see which video had gotten the most views and really celebrate that special guest.
And the nominations are... Richard Kinnaird.
So I'm hopping along trying to stop this car as it's like jolting towards all our cars that are on sale, and she's just there. I honestly, I didn't look at her because obviously I was like panicking about the car, but she was just like, she must have just been looking at me like, what is this guy? Believe it or not, she didn't buy from me.
Funny that.
No way.
I know. I don't know where I lost credibility. So yeah,
I bet
we have a
Jack
phrase
Ferguson
to wow people. So our kind of full phrase is there are 3 kind of types of night people can have. So they can have an ow moment, which is where something's gone wrong. They can have a how night, which is just how they expected it to be. Or we can give them a wow moment, which is something that they didn't expect. We go above and beyond somehow.
In terms of golf and business,
and Samuel Harris,
much business in golf, it's where business is done, isn't it? On the
yeah,
golf course?
well, I've recently, a few months ago, I joined For Business, which is a business networking golf combo.
I've heard very good things. Yeah,
and it's very good. You should come along.
I'll come for a 4-ball. You get a free 4-ball every month, don't you?
You get a free 4-ball every month, and you do the networking once a month as well.
There you go.
And that stood out for me. And Chris doesn't like spending any money, but I said to him, we've got to do this because it's better than any networking I've done before because you've got a captive audience for 4 hours on the golf course.
And the winner is Samuel Harris.
Hello, Sophia and Rob. Thank you so much for including me in your award ceremony, and thank you for giving me the award for most watched podcast. I'm just glad that I got in before you had Bob Mortimer on the show. Thank you very much. See you soon, guys.
Oh, what a guy.
What a guy. That's worth saying, actually. We have asked our winners in every category if they would like to give us a little acceptance speech.
That's right, yes.
So you'll see them embedded throughout the video. Really, really great to see so much continued support for the podcast from our guests.
Absolutely. And a massive shout out to Samuel Harris for being such a great sport, a great guest.
Yeah.
And this
So
award here,
this
Samuel,
is on your way.
will be coming to you very soon, my friend. Maybe on the golf course, who knows. And we move on swiftly onto our next award for the most controversial story. Now we've had some risque stories, haven't we?
Well,
Sophia?
as we say, there are some banned episodes. There are some episodes that are no more.
Yeah, so there's two banned episodes, one upon the request of the interviewee and one that was forced down due to compliance issues and bollocking from what we hear. But we've had some great stories.
Yes, absolutely.
Shall I hand the nominations over to you?
Yes. So the nominees are Lucy Kay.
And then Community Shield, Wembley, I think it was Arsenal and Man City. And singing the national anthem. Again, I went through my classic anxiety. Oh, I forget the words. Everybody knows. But everyone was singing along and it was amazing. And I actually felt like I was on Gladiator because there was a pyros going on. I felt that. And it was 80,000 people. I was like, yes, I was walking on. It was just insane. Again.
A little chat off
Katie
camera
Harris.
about maybe some of the failures that have happened in the business. And I want to I want to learn a little bit about that, on Zoom or Teams, that share screen button.
And I had a moment where I forgot I was screen sharing and opened my WhatsApp that showed a naked bottom of a man from a dating site in big on my screen. And I had, my clients were in their 60s, very well to do, very similar to the I comment.
I thought you were about to say very similar to me. I was like,
pointing very similar to you. Shh, we won't tell anyone about that.
Anyway,
And
so
Matt
I went
Glover.
around, I just fell over. And a month ago, I'd flat on my arse in front of everyone. And of course, it was just at the point I was just starting to get annoyed with them, but visibly annoyed. So it was like, oh, I was hideous. But it was also very funny because they all laughed at me, and I just had to laugh.
and the winner is Katie Harris.
Hi, it's Katie Harris from Mediation Matters Midlands. I'm thrilled to have been awarded the most controversial story in the How I Failed in Business podcast. I couldn't have asked for a more important award, of course, showing my professionalism as always. So thank you very much for choosing us as the most controversial story. Thank you.
Well done, Katie.
And thank you to Katie.
And thank you. Now, we don't want to give any hints as to who the banned episodes are.
Yes.
But what we will say is if you were to search for Katie Harris's full episode, it's nowhere to
You
be
won't
found.
find it.
Only some short snippets. So thank you very much, Katie. And shall we move on to the best
Shall
comeback
we?
story?
Absolutely.
So what was our kind of scope when we're looking for this? Oh, we should give Katie her award, shouldn't we? That was my fault. So what were we looking for in the best comeback story?
We wanted to, of course, talk about failure on this podcast.
Yep.
But the true point of what we were trying to do was prove that failure isn't the end point, at least not for us in business. So we wanted to really shine a light on the people that have managed to use their failure as a jumping off point to bounce back.
Absolutely. And that's the basis of the whole podcast, right?
Absolutely.
So shall we crack on with the nominations?
Absolutely.
Starting with Mittel
you go
Guardian.
to like these keynote speaks where you've got these incredibly successful business people, and people like the Lord Sugars and the chap from Gymshark and whatnot, all delivering keynote speeches, all talking about how their businesses almost went bust or had gone bust and they started again, and everyone sat there giving them big rounds of applause. Yet we don't do that for some of our, colleagues on a smaller level. We almost kind of write them off as failures. So I find it really interesting how, on one hand, we appreciate how people have failed and then turn things around, but we're not very supportive of that across the board. So,
yeah, Luke
It's always a
Tobin,
very open-ended question,
and you introduce yourself as a serial entrepreneur. And this is a question I've not prepared you for, so I do apologise. But what does the word entrepreneur mean to you?
I think at different times it means different things. I think now at this stage in my career, in many ways, there's an element of responsibility to it because I have a lot of team members and staff that kind of sit around me. I think early on it was opportunity and freedom and a chance to shape things the way I wanted them to be. And I still see that in, you know, a lot of the kind of new ventures that I go into.
And Gary
Post
Parsons
out there and said, hey, you might think I'm really successful, but did you know I had depression? Did you know that I'd come dangerously close to, you know, to losing my life because it had got really severe? I've never tried to take my own life, but it got really dark. There could have been days where it could have easily have happened.
And the winner is... I'll let you say this, sorry.
Hi everyone, Mittelgardia here. I just want to say a heartfelt thank you to Rob and the entire team at the How I Failed in Business podcast for this incredible recognition as winner of the Best Comeback Award. It was such an honour to be a guest on your show and share my journey, both the tough times and the amazing transformations I've experienced since starting fresh here in Dubai. Failure in business can feel devastating, but I truly believe it's only ever short term. It's an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. Every setback is a lesson disguised as a challenge. To anyone out there who's facing difficulties, remember your story doesn't end with failure. It begins with how you rise from it. As I always say, success is not final, failure is not fatal, it's the courage to continue that counts. Thank you once again, Rob and the team. Here's to more stories of resilience and triumph.
What a great little video. Thank you, Mittel. Round of applause there. He did great. Lovely. To be fair, his little clip there was
beautiful.
Was really well put. And actually, I think we had a hard choice between quite a lot of the stories we heard.
Absolutely.
Right, even with the nominations, you know, Gary Parsons was a great guest to hear about his comeback story. And of course, I think we all learned a lot from Luke as well. But I think Mittel has personified things beautifully there.
And this is heading your way, Mittel.
I'll allow you to take over the next award, Miss Grace.
Yes, the next award that we have is for viral sensation. So we've gone through all of our social media channels, and again, we've collated all of those views to see who's come out on front. And we had some strong contenders, but we did have one person soar out into the lead.
Wow.
So, without spoiling anything, the nominees are Scott Matthew.
And what I should have been doing was siphoning some of that money off to drive my own business, going, well, whilst I'm doing this is brilliant. I've got money to drive my own business. But I didn't. I just sat back and didn't look at anything to do with profit and loss and stuff. I just thought this is going to last forever. But it didn't. He lost that national care home contract and it just dried up overnight.
So yeah, I just don't, if the business failed, I wouldn't know where I'd turn or where else I'd go. So that's where that kind of pressure aspect comes in, that if this fails, then I'm going to have to go back to something that I hate doing.
Yeah.
Which for you is teaching.
Yeah, teaching or working for people that, like in a business where you're just a number and you're not listened to, or, you know, you think you've got good ideas and they're not willing to try them.
My phone connected to my car's Bluetooth. My windows were still down and all I heard was, oh! I'm sorry for that impression, listeners.
That was really good.
But
do you do that often?
More often than you think.
And the winner is Scott Matthew. Round of applause for Scott. Now, fortunately, Scott didn't have time to send over a video for us, but I know he'll be very thankful for this award.
He is newlywed.
He is newlywed, and his episode was great. That little clip was great.
It was.
And I used sort of some of the things he shared about that pre-internet thinking, you know, in some of the things we talk about. And please do go check out these clips on social media. And it's no surprise that he's the viral sensation, because look at him. He's a handsome devil full of prosperity and beautifulness. So Scott, I think it's this award here.
Yes.
No, it's not. It's this one here, I think. Anyway, it's one of them. Congratulations,
That's
Scott.
our wedding gift to you.
It is. Congratulations. And now we move on to the most streamed episode, which once again was hard to work out, really, wasn't it? We kind of broke the YouTube views and the sort of Spotify and Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts up differently. Now, this one was left to me to kind of decipher, and I had to kind of look through various graphs and analytics because each platform was saying different things. But we've had some great listens.
Absolutely.
All over the world. We're still hitting it large in
Malawi.
Thank Thank you so much. We are still hitting it big somewhere over in Africa.
There's an award for you.
There is. There should be anyway. Well, let's break in to the nominees, shall we? First nomination is Alex Daly.
And I had this really big misconception that you had to be a certain type of person to be networking. Yeah. You had to wear a suit, no disrespect, Rob. Looking very smart, but you had to be that person, and you had to look like this, and you had to walk like this, and you had to talk like this. And to start with, I found it very difficult. And I got a very good friend of mine who I bounced so many different ideas off. He's fantastic. He helped me a lot. It's me. You're my second friend. Oh. Thank you. Honey, I've got a whole 2 friends now. I'm doing well 30 years in. And it was that thing that someone just around to me and said, have you tried being yourself? Have you tried going into a room and just being Alex? And people laugh because I talk about myself in the third person. But just go and be yourself and see how that suits. And here we are. But
Adam Horton.
One of the kind of failings in some ways is that when you're in that kind of phase of growth, you can easily get caught into the trap of thinking it's just going to carry on like that forever. And it didn't. So we've had to react to that, and that's just part of the ups and downs of the journey, I guess. But in hindsight, we should have been better prepared, and but yeah, hindsight's a wonderful thing. But
and Mittelgardia
is inevitable. I think it's how everyone learns naturally through life. I think sometimes though there's a big taboo when it comes to talking about business failure, because everyone wants to be seen like they've got everything figured out, and there's this almost bravado about no, I know what I'm doing. And sometimes, one of the biggest failures is not recognizing when we need help, or when we're not on our A game with something, and we continue to carry on as if nothing's going on. So I think that in itself is a key failure.
And the winner is Adam Horton.
Hi, Sophia and Rob. Just a quick one to say thank you very much, because I was amazed to hear that I'd won the most streamed audio category. So yeah, thanks again for having me on as a guest, and thanks for doing what you do. See you soon.
What a guy. Well done, Adam.
Perfect. Thank you, Adam.
And massive kudos for winning the award.
Yes, absolutely. And it was such a fantastic episode. One of the last episodes that we did over in the old set.
Goodness, it would have been, actually. And it is quite nice because when we look back on some of these clips, you do go, wow, we've been...
different chapters.
We've been through it, haven't we?
Yeah,
we certainly
we really
have. We really have. Well, shall we, before we release our final 3 awards, shall we take a small little break?
We'll take a short little break while we go and deliver this.
Let's do it.
Adam.
Stay tuned. The final 3 awards will be coming up just after these messages. Do you need digital marketing services?
No, you cut me off.
You weren't going to say anything.
What even is digital marketing? That's something we hear from clients all the time. It's an ever-changing world on the internet at the moment, and you can't be expected to know it all, but we can. And we do. You can contact one of our digital marketing agents today and find out exactly what services we could offer you. Are you struggling with social media management, personal branding, website design, SEO? Would you like to see what paid ads might be able to do for you? Or perhaps you want to run a new campaign over email? We can handle this all for you. So get in touch today.
Should I have looked at you? So.
You do the rest of it.
You were smashing that. I don't want to take that over. Yeah, visitors at www.paragonsalesolutions.co.uk. I'm very blessed to have a great digital marketing team. We've got Sophia, who has come in and absolutely smashed it. And we've got Molly, who is an ever-present gem of a digital marketing whiz. If you need any help in getting more bookings, inquiries, leads, sales, anything like that, get in touch.
Hi guys, and welcome back to this special awards episode of How I Failed in Business at the end of season 1. We decided that these next 3 awards are going to be slightly different, a little bit more biased. And we've decided to do some of our choices for our favourite episodes. We make so many episodes that naturally there are going to be ones where we're really taken by the story and feel it very personally. So we thought we'd jump in with celebrating Rob's choices.
Yeah, absolutely. And you are right. This is we want to be transparent. This is completely biased. So, you know, I've made a choice for my favourite guest. Sophia's made some choices for her favourite guest. I don't know about you, but it was hard.
It was really difficult to hear that you only get 3 and then 1 winner.
I know, it was solid. And we were talking on an earlier episode only last week, sort of about our top 5 and who we'd have. We can't name them because every guest has been fantastic.
It's very difficult.
Every guest has shared some fantastic stories, some laughs, some giggles, some invaluable knowledge. It's been really hard. So for my choice, I picked out 3 nominees of whom kind of did the 3 key things that I want the podcast to do. So humour. I want the podcast to have a sense of humour, a bit of personality and a bit of a comedic side to things. I picked out stories and guests of whom were able to share that bounce back from failure. What we said earlier, right? The reason why we set the podcast up. And also those that can impart some fantastic wisdom and just who left me feeling like inspired and motivated. That's why I've chosen these 3 people out of everyone I could have chosen.
Okay, well, with that, shall we go to the nominees?
Let's do it.
The nominees are Stefan Wardle.
So I was just going to put a bag on me.
Have you got... Is this a surprise?
Honestly, I thought, how am I going to get through this and do the one that's a lie and not be able to get through it with that? Because what I'll do is I'll start telling it, I'll be like that.
Please, go.
So I actually found this, like, in a room. I just thought it'd be
This-
Seriously. Can you still hear me, though?
Well, I don't know. Put it down.
Right. Can you hear me?
So I need to take a photo of this. This is my job.
Luke
Are you
Tobin.
thankful for those failures, would you say?
Absolutely. I think our failures are what define us. I think if we only had successes, we wouldn't really know that they were successes, right? It's a bit like anything. You only know, you only appreciate people once someone else has messed you around, or you only love when you know the opposite of it. It's the same principle in business. You have to make mistakes in order to know what success looks like.
And lastly,
creating
Steve
a bond
Walsh.
with the dressing room. That's vital. Is getting everybody pulling together in a dressing room, and it's amazing how far you can go. It's like in business, you know, if you've got a team that are pulling together, then you can go places. And we formed a bond that was invincible, really. And you know, even Stan Collingwood came in, he couldn't even break anything in that, and he was hard to handle. So yeah, it was. To be a captain, you needed leadership, and I could organise that on the pitch very well. I think that's where, when we're up against it, you know, when you're losing games, I could keep people, the minds right, and I think that was vital. In, you know, sometimes we were beating 6-7, you know, but lads were losing, you know, and I'd be the one, right? We just keep going, we keep going to the end.
And the winner is Steve Walsh.
Hi everyone, this is Steve Walsh. I have just won another award, Rob's Standout Guest Award. I am absolutely thrilled with this award. It will go alongside my Coca-Cola Cup Winners Medal and my certain playoff finals against Derby, as you all know, and Crystal Palace. It's right up there with the best. And thank you very much, everyone. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully I can win it again next year.
What a guy. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve. Now, I assure you, I didn't hold a gun to his head.
Are you sure?
I am absolutely thrilled with this award, but I feel quite honoured it's going to sit next to all his other trophies.
Absolutely. Pride of place.
Absolutely. And look, I want to make really clear, it was really hard to pull out the winner. You know, we had 36
Absolutely.
guests. To whittle that down to 3 and then to choose one individual. And just to explain my reasoning, I just think, for me, I was born and raised, you know, watching Steve play, watching his leadership on the pitch, watching a bit of it off the pitch as well. And I remember sort of when we were sat there in that room, and I was like, I learned so much from him. And he's one of the only 2 guests that have actually made me a bit nervous, mainly because of the excitement. And so I think, you know, when you're a bit starstruck, and it was great. And once again, if you've missed his episode, please do go ahead and listen. And now we move on over to Sophia's choice.
Yeah.
So Sophia, talk to me about your reasoning. What was your sort of mindscape here?
obviously this podcast has taught me so much, and I've been sat across from people that I never thought I'd hear their stories and their perspectives on things. And when I thought what of that has been most important to me and what I've taken away as the most valuable, it's just hearing stories of people that have come from beginnings where they didn't know that they would achieve such incredible things. I think it's really powerful and really motivating. And I think to hear also some of the journeys that women have gone through on their way to the top have been absolutely fantastic. So I've sort of tried to think, you know, who made me laugh, but who also made me think. And that's where I've taken these people from.
Absolutely. Well, shall we go on to the...
Hi, everyone. This is Steve Walsh.
Oh, sorry, Steve. This one's for you. Molly's just told me off for not handing it over. sorry, Steve. This one will come to you. Apparently, yeah, it's a different one. But anyway, this one's going to you, Steve. Sorry, Molly. Sorry. Yeah, and the nominations are Sue McAniff.
However, as I was walking down the steps, my stiletto heel got caught in the metal strip that was holding the flooring down, and I started to fall down the steps. Now, I'm a clumsy person, so I'm used to falling, but this is my top 10 falls. So I'm falling down the steps, but to make matters worse, in that split second, I realised where I was going to land and where my trajectory was going, and it was going to be, I'm going to land face first in the chief executive's lap.
And also,
Matt
no one
Glover.
else is saying this, but no.
I feel like you're going to slap me.
Yeah, no, this is not the time. This is not the time for it.
On the
And finally, Lucy Kay.
YouTube clip that you've seen probably, I make up some words. I literally don't know what I'm singing. It could have been pasta orientated. I don't know. I was like, oh my god! And I just make it up and just sing from the heart. So whatever came to me, I just sang. But they loved it. They ain't got a clue. They ain't got a clue anyway.
And the winner is Sue.
I'm extremely honoured and touched to be the winner of the Sophia's Choice Award for How I Failed in Business. I'd like to thank all my family, friends and colleagues who have supported me through this process. And like I say, I'm extremely honoured. So thank you.
Well done, Sue.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you very much. I just thought Sue had such an incredible story to go from such a demoralizing and horrible workplace to move into the charity sphere to then become a CEO. I just thought it was absolutely fantastic. And what a funny lady.
Hilarious.
Hilarious.
And Sue, we love your award, but I think we should replace it with one of these.
Yes.
What do you reckon?
You do get a real one, and this is headed to you. My award.
Congratulations, Sue. Well done. And lovely choice, Sophia. I know it was a tough one for you.
Absolutely, very tough.
And now we move on to the final award.
Some might argue the most important, not that they aren't all very important, but this is the award voted for by you. You voted for this award.
This is your fault. This is
your fault. You did this.
So we put some polls out there. We created some forms. We've put some marketing content out there to give you, the listener, the choice to vote for yours. And it got quite tight, did it not?
Yeah. And if you didn't get your chance to vote, that just means that you should be following us on social media. Why aren't you?
Lovely call to action. Well done. You're a pro. Absolutely. So tough choices, and there was quite a tough selection process in here. But the winner was chosen by you, the person with the most votes. So I'll do the nominations. You can announce the winner, Sophia. Seamlessly. Sorry, I completely froze. And the nominees are...
When I look
Steve
back,
Walsh.
he's, mentally, he's affected me in a lot of ways.
Okay.
And, I'm willing to talk about it now, but it's someone who came in and shouldn't have been allowed to do what he did, to get someone out of the club straight away. I've been there 15 years and I could have helped him. And, yet when you're thrown away like that and then you don't know what you're going to do, it's not a nice thing, the feeling. And I'm quite bitter about it still, but I've let it. Obviously now the club have been fantastic with me, but it still hurts. Yeah.
Barry Pierpoint
stood there and listened to this banging noise against the door, and I thought, well, I better open and see what's inside and what's going on. So I opened it, and 2 people fell out, virtually naked. And I said to the bar manager, I said, "Excuse me," I said, "What are you doing?" He said, he's got a lady in there with him, and there's obviously himself, and said that all the clothes are around the ankles. And he said, "We're stock taking." And I said, "I think it looks like more like cock taking." And I said to him, "Come on down to my office when you've finished."
And
Probably
finally,
place, more
Matt
freedom,
Bull.
Be in charge of yourself, and probably think they could earn a bit more money than they would do employed.
Yeah.
Working more hours than they ever had done. You're getting paid less, probably hourly, than they ever done, and they've got no freedom because they're completely stressed out.
Yeah.
So what? But they've lost track along the way. My job is just to sort of sometimes hold the mirror up and go, if you lost track of why in business in the first place, why don't we reconnect with that? What do you want your life to be like? Let's look at this business, which is an amazing asset to deliver anyone the life they want to lead.
And the winner is Barry Pierpoint.
I'd like to thank everyone who voted for me on the Paragon, and also thank Paragon Sales Solutions for asking me to be a guest on their live podcast recently. It was an honour and privilege to go and be at that event, and I was amazed at winning an award, and I was amazed that people voted for me, so thank you very much. I enjoyed sharing my stories and time at Leicester Football Club as the CEO, and I'm sure I've got a few more stories to tell in the future. Wish everybody all the very best, and once again, thank you for those who voted for me.
Oh, Barry.
Thank you, Barry. A massive congratulations, Barry. Listener's choice.
Yes,
it's a hard one to win. This award here is yours, Barry. We'll organise a time to drop off and give it yourself. But look, that wraps up the awards.
It does.
It does. It wraps up the awards. As we said at the start, a massive thank you and well done to all of our guests.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Some of them travelled, from Wales. Some of them travelled really far to be here. So we appreciate your time, and that wraps up season 1.
It does wrap up season 1, and what a season it has been. Absolutely fantastic.
It has been. Are you feeling emotional?
Oh.
Weeping away. So we're going to take a small break, only for 3 or 4 weeks. We're going to spend some time to reflect. We're going to spend some time thinking about what's worked, what's not worked, and ultimately planning ahead a season 2 that you're going to be absolutely amazed and wowed by. Absolutely. Got some big plans though, haven't we?
We have. There's a lot in the works, so watch this space.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, I didn't get them awards, but I want to kind of give out my recognition to two special people. First of all, Molly, for being a great dab hand behind the camera. Molly does a lot of, seamless work. She reminds me when I've not handed out an award, that you would have never known happened. She does a lot of work to make sure everything's working, getting some behind the scenes. So Molly, the podcast wouldn't really work without you. So if we were to have a producer of the year, it probably would.
It would be
go
Molly.
down to Molly. So thank you very much. And I would like to say a massive thank you to you, Sophia. I say it an awful lot and maybe a bit too much. And I said it a lot during the live show. The podcast wouldn't be the same without you. I was going through some old footage of the Sales Circle podcast, and it was from years ago, and I was talking about how I'd got this idea for how I failed in business, and the idea I had then wouldn't exist without me meeting you. So thank you very much. And I'm really excited for season 2 and season 3 and season 32 as well. So thank you very much. Do you want to close off?
I can close off. Yes, guys. So as we said, there will be no episode next Tuesday. We are just taking a brief intermission as we prepare for season 2. But we're going to be posting all of our updates on social media. So please make sure that you check along so that you never miss anything. We are How I Failed in Business, just about anywhere. And until we are back, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey. And we'll see you very soon. All the best.
Where's the smoke? Where's the smoke, Molly? Yay.